Bill Harris along with Dave Bondy once again, NBC25. We're tracking two breaking news stories for you this afternoon, following up developments at Flint Bishop International Airport, where an officer was stabbed this morning. We're also tracking a story at Flint City Hall, which is under tight security at this moment. But of more immediate concern is the FBI has just released a written statement. Yeah, I want to read the statement to you right now, what the FBI has released about this incident. They are saying, quote, based on the information that we have at this time, we believe this to be an isolated incident. And they go on to say, we currently have no specific credible information that there is a threat to the Flint community. I'm told, law enforcement tells me, David, that a briefing is being held right now at the top of the hour of law enforcement only, and they're probably going to share the information, get a status of where we are at the 3 o'clock hour, and it is then afterward that we expect to have that formal press conference involving multiple agencies. But right now, for the moment, the airport is still closed, I guess. Yes, still closed. NBC25 Stephanie Parkinson has been there throughout the day. We now go live to Stephanie. Stephanie, what's the scene out there like right now?
Yeah, Dave, the airport is still closed. There's nobody coming through here. You still have a police blockade at the entrance. We're right at the cell phone lot. We've stayed in this area. This is where we are pretty much set up for the day. So we can see this is the main entrance into the airport. No one's coming through here unless they are law enforcement, work for the airport, or they are emergency responders. We've seen ambulances come through, fire trucks, that kind of thing, but no one is coming through to go through the airport. It remains closed. Let me give you a look at the scene. I'm going to move out of the way here. Like I said, you're seeing ambulances, police cars, all of these folks are here doing this investigation here at the airport. We've seen the state police forensic team out here as well. And we have seen travelers. We've seen them walk through there with their suitcases. So we know that travelers are still in the area around here. We've not seen a lot of people leave the airport. At this time, it's still an active investigation, and we're getting very little out of the FBI. As you mentioned with their statement, they are saying that they don't know yet if they can say that this is an act of terror, that they don't have enough information, and that they're interviewing the suspect. But we know the suspect's in custody. They don't believe there's a threat to the public here in Flint. But right now, they're still here, still an active scene, still has the airport closed down right now. We don't know when the airport will reopen. We aren't sure about that at this point in time because this is still developing. This is still an incident here at the airport that they're not done with the job that they have to do here, which is also probably why we're getting limited information from the FBI. We are expected to get a briefing here. It could be as early as a few minutes, or it could be about an hour or so. We don't know yet exactly when that will happen. I spoke with a law enforcement official a little bit ago who said maybe 3:30. So we're going to continue to just keep you updated. And as we hear more from the FBI, hopefully at that press conference, we can ask some more questions and maybe get the answers to a lot of our questions that we've had. So back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Now, the FBI reporting they're investigating the possibility of terrorism, but I want to read a tweet from an investigative reporter at NBC News here. Tom Winter is his name, and he was tweeting about 2 hours ago. The Canadian-born suspect shouted Allah Akbar before stabbing the officer. Multiple law enforcement sources say. I just got off the Twitter messaging Tom, and he said he has no further information about this, but you're taking a look on your screen right there. According to NBC News, the Canadian-born suspect shouted Allah Akbar. That is the very latest. Tom says he will keep us informed. He is with NBC News in Washington. So, Tom, with that latest Twitter, that message you just got from Tom, he's sticking by the fact that it is they're treating it as a terrorist incident. He and the network are sticking by right now that it is terrorism related. He said they have no other indication from law enforcement, so they're sticking with that story right now. All right, as we heard, the airport is closed, but that does not necessarily mean that traffic is not coming in and out of the airport. Joel Fike has been tracking that for us.
Well, some of the airport traffic is coming in. Certainly, Delta Flight 3291 out of Minneapolis arrived today. Not too long ago, everybody got off the plane, everybody's good. Again, no injuries, certainly, among any of the passengers. A little earlier in the day, Delta Flight 1767 out of Atlanta, they had some circling that they were doing up in the air, and we talked to those passengers right after they got off the plane.
We were about to land. They said we got into a holding pattern, so we're kind of up there. We didn't really know what was going on per se. They finally let us land, and you're getting text updates, so it's kind of scary. You don't really know what's going on, and I'm just hoping that police officers are all right.
It's a plane. We came down into the tarmac. We came underneath the tunnel, and there were police officers, state cops, airport authority lining up, and they were basically our escort, if you will, to make sure we got out of the facility.
Just people trying to deal with a situation they're not expecting, and mostly people were very calm.
Well, it's terrible. I mean, it's really sad. It's this is the world we live in. We were talking about them. We had all these police cars lined up, all the lights going, and it's unfortunate. That's just, I don't know who did it, I don't know why they did it, but it's done.
One other flight to tell you about, Southwest Flight 173 out of Chicago Midway. It's still on the tarmac in Chicago. They don't want to put them up in the air because it's such a short hop, really, from Flint to Chicago.
Okay.
They got nowhere to put them, so they're staying into Chicago until this thing's resolved.
All right, Joel, thank you.
A lot of prayers and wishes coming in from across the country. I want to show you a tweet from Governor Rick Snyder a short time ago. Actually, he's had several tweets. He tweeted this within the last, half hour. He says, "Thank you to our local, state, and federal law enforcement officials and first responders who are working hard at Bishop Airport." And he was tweeting earlier about, as we wait for more information, keep the attacked officer in your thoughts and prayers. And the good news, we're learning more news about that officer, and it's somewhat good news, actually, at this hour.
And while we're talking about the officer, let's bring you up to date on the latest we know. His name is Lieutenant Jeff Neville. In case you're just joining us, he is a lieutenant with the airport security team. This is a fully sworn police department at Bishop Airport. He is a veteran officer, served with the Genesee County Sheriff's Department for a number of years. He was seriously stabbed, taken to a local hospital, underwent surgery. We are told now his condition has been upgraded to stable.
And once again, I want to get back the name of the suspect not being released at this time. We do know the name, Lieutenant Neville. We're wishing him a full recovery, obviously, and we're waiting that news conference that should be taking place possibly at 3:30. But whenever it happens, we will bring it to you live on air and online on our social media sites, Twitter and Facebook.
Law enforcement at the scene telling us the situation there is quieted down a little bit enough where now most of the command team from all of the agencies are meeting probably at this very minute to assess the situation, to exchange intelligence, to exchange information, and no doubt converse with their federal partners. This is now an FBI investigation. And then we'll prepare a statement of sorts and then come before the press. And like Dave and everybody's been saying, we expect that maybe 3:30, but most likely closer to 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and stand by. You can download our app. We will send an alert out as soon as we go live so all of you can know when we're watching. But just stay with NBC25. We'll be on top of this throughout the afternoon.
Thank you for being with us. Now let's go back to regular programming.
Now, a guy said he's checking, but he seems that's way